Minute of Drums episode 6 featured a groove I transcribed from Malian singer Oumou Sangaré's 2017 record Mogoya. This song, Bena Bena, is the opening track on the album and has a simple drum set beat that is augmented by layers of percussion. Take a listen to the basic version that comes in at the beginning of the song. I love grooves like this that straddle the line between 3/4 and 6/8, which we were about to talk about, but first I want to play you a variation of the beat that comes in later in the song. That simple shaker part comes in and totally changes the flow of the groove. Before I get into that, I want to explain exactly how this simultaneous 3/4 plus 6/8 feel works. A bar of 3/4 and a bar of 6/8 both have the same number of eighth notes, 6. They are simply divided up differently. In 3/4 they are divided into 3 groups of 2, and in 6/8 they are divided into 2 groups of 3. That's a lot of numbers, but essentially this means that anything you can play in one time signature will work in the other. In Mali, and in many traditions of West Africa, rhythms that use both of these feels simultaneously are very prevalent. Fortunately, this one is quite simple. The first bar is phrased in 3 groups of 2 eighth notes, and the second bar is phrased in 2 groups of 3 eighth notes. To demonstrate, I'm going to count off the 2-bar phrase and keep the subdivision going on the snare rim. Check it out. On the recording, the drums start out with a basic hi-hat pattern that bridges together the 2 halves of the groove. I'll play the hi-hat rhythm alone first, and then bring in the bass drum and snare drum. The shaker variation that comes in later in the song adds a whole new layer to this groove, playing a double-time rhythm that strongly pronounces the 6/8 feel. To demonstrate this, I'm going to start with the hi-hat alone, playing just a 6/8 subdivision. Then I'll play the full hi-hat variation, and finally I'll bring in the original bass drum and snare drum parts. Check it out. Now for one last trick. To start this off, I'm going to demonstrate 2 bars of 6/8 again, this time with the right hand on the ride and the left hand on the hi-hat. Then I'll keep my hands there and play the same rhythm I played in the last example. The only change I make to the sticking is to move the last snare drum note to the left hand. A lot going on here. You ready? A relatively simple groove when you first hear it, but as you can see, there are many layers of complexity. This is what I love about West African music. To see this groove in action, here's a clip of me playing along to an acoustic version of this same song that was released on Oumou Sangaré's 2020 record titled Acoustic.